It was her first day back at school. She had picked out her outfit the night before, a soft blue hoodie, a jean, and her matching hijab. She was 15, nervous, and excited. But when she enters the school gate in Lyon, France, everything changes. The principal calls her out at the hallway, tells her she couldn't enter, not because of what she did, not because of her bad grades, but because she was wearing a hijab. They called it a symbol of oppression, and she called it her identity. And just like that, she was expelled. This is not a story about religion, it's a story about control, about hypocrisy, and what happens when freedom is weaponized. Because in the name of liberation, some girls are forced to strip down of their beliefs or be silenced completely. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about a topic that gets misunderstood a lot. The idea that Muslim women are oppressed. Somewhere along the way, the world decided that if you see a woman in hijab, she's oppressed, she's voiceless, or she's controlled. Maybe she even wants to get saved. Or like in Hollywood movies, she wants to remove her scarf and become free and powerful. But what if I told you that whatever you knew about the Muslim woman being oppressed is wrong? In fact, when you look at history, Islam empowered women and gave them rights way before many other societies, especially before the Western world. Islam actually gives women a lot of rights, and I'm not just talking about the basic praying or fasting, I'm talking about social and economic growth. Quran encourages women to seek knowledge. That's education. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, all his life respected and empowered women. Take Khadija radiallahu anha, his wife for example. She was not a background figure, she was a businesswoman. She was a very successful businesswoman of her time. She emotionally and financially supported him in all her might, in all her right. Another example is Aisha radiallahu anha, one of the Prophet's wives. She was a scholar, not just any scholar, she was one of the biggest scholars. She was a teacher, a narrator of thousands of hadiths, that is the teachings of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Women back in time were just not followers, they were teachers, leaders in knowledge and spirituality. Islam introduced reforms that changed women's right in major way. Women were allowed to own property, to inherit, to seek knowledge, and to participate in social economic growth. Take the law of inheritance, for example. Before Islam, any societies, even the pre-Islamic Arabian era, they were not allowed to own property or to inherit. Islam changed that. The women were guaranteed their share of inheritance. Let's compare that to the Europe, shall we? At the same time, in the 7th century, in the medieval Europe, women did not have many rights. They couldn't own their own land, and the states were named after their husband or father specifically. They couldn't even have any rights to sign any legal documents. It wasn't until the 19th and the 20th century that women finally had their rights. The rights which Islam encouraged many years. I'm talking about 1,000 years earlier. For example, women's suffrage, the right to vote, this all came into action in the late 1800s and the early 1900s in Europe and America. Education at that time was rare for women. Women did not have even the basic rights to have education. Universities were built only for the male population. It was all male-oriented universities. Meanwhile, the Muslim women were founding universities at the same time. I'm talking about Fatima al-Fihri, who established the University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Morocco in the 9th century. It is recognized as the world's oldest university. Imagine that, a Muslim woman opening and founding a university that's a center for learning at that time, which still stands till this date. Did you also know that Islam was the first to give the woman the right to divorce? that to 1400 years ago, whereas USA just introduced that law like 100 years back, and the women, they were stuck in the abusive marriages. In many ways, Islam has always encouraged and empowered women. By our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the teachings of Quran and Hadith, the women's rights have always been flourished and guaranteed through Islam. Now let's talk about hijab, shall we? It is always misunderstood as a symbol of oppression. So let's define oppression for a second. Because here's the tea. A Muslim woman, by choice, choosing to cover herself in hijab is called oppressed, okay? But a woman choosing to starve herself in a zero-size figure is fashion forward. A woman wearing a bikini is liberated, is freed, is strong. But a Muslim woman, or any woman for that thing, choosing to cover herself in modest clothing is brainwashed. Make it make sense, people. It doesn't make any sense. Oppression is not in the cloth. Niqab, hijab, burqa, it's all clothes. It's not oppression. Oppression is when they are forced to do it. It's their choice. They can do whatever they want. They can wear whatever they want. Many Muslim women wear hijab because they feel happy, because they feel free, because it's a way of expressing their faith. It's not forced. If it's forced, it's wrong. If it's forced, you can say oppression. But many Muslim women, they do it by their own choice. Now, it is also super important to know that all the oppression things that people see in the news about forced marriages, teenage girl marrying a 40-year-old uncle or whatever, forced marriages, that's what, honor violence, restrictions, stopping them from education or traveling to any public place, that's all cultural, that's all traditional, that's all societal, that's not Islam. Islam has always empowered women, has always given them right to education, to freedom. It has never restricted women. When culture and religion gets mixed up, people confuse. They start blaming a religion that's not even responsible for it. They totally misunderstand a beautiful religion just because of some culture or traditional people who are misusing a religion for their own profit or for their own politics. I don't understand. Islam is a beautiful religion, and our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has always empowered women and respected them all his life. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to like, share and comment down your thoughts or any situation you have been in your life where people think you're oppressed or something. I would love to read them. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll catch you in my next one. So till then, take care, be safe. Ma salama.